The news broke like a thunderclap across Asia, reverberating through newsrooms and living rooms from Tokyo to Jakarta. The story dominated headlines, sparking urgent debates and analysis on every major network. Manila enacts Maritime Zones law defies Beijing. The bold headline captured the gravity of the moment as the Philippines took a stand that would echo far beyond its shores. The Philippines, a nation dwarfed by China in size and military might, had just signed into law its new official map, staking a legal claim in the South China Sea. This was a move years in the making, a culmination of national resolve and legal strategy. This was not a declaration of war but a declaration of law. Manila was not sending warships, but wielding the power of legislation and international norms. The act, passed by Congress and signed by the President, sets clear maritime boundaries, directly challenging China's sweeping claims. For the first time, the Philippines had a unified, legally binding map that all government agencies must follow. Years of legal battles, diplomatic negotiations, and public debate led to this moment of defiant pride in Manila. The city buzzed with a sense of accomplishment, as ordinary Filipinos celebrated a rare victory in a long and difficult struggle. The new law codifies the Philippines' exclusive economic zone and continental shelf, rooted in the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. It draws boundaries not just on paper, but in the hearts and minds of the Filipino people. It transforms the 2016 Hague arbitral victory into binding domestic policy, uniting all government agencies under one map, one that ignores China's 9-dash line. The Philippines is now speaking with one voice, backed by international law and its own statutes. Beijing's reaction was furious, but the move left China in a bind. How to counter a step that is entirely legitimate under international law? Chinese officials condemned the law, but the world saw Manila's action as a principled stand. Manila's law erases ambiguity, making every Chinese incursion a clear violation of both international and Philippine law. Now every confrontation at sea is not just a matter of power, but a test of legal legitimacy. For Filipinos, this is about more than maps and treaties. It's about identity, rights, and the future. About fishermen blocked from their ancestral waters, about untapped energy reserves that could fuel the nation's growth, and about the dignity of a people standing up for themselves. The law is a statement, loud and clear, that their rights are not negotiable. It is a rallying cry for unity, resilience, and hope in the face of overwhelming odds. It gives legal backing to every Coast Guard captain and diplomat defending the nation's case. From the bridge of a patrol ship to the halls of the United Nations, Filipinos now have the law on their side. Manila has drawn its line in the water, not with ships, but with statutes. This line is not just a boundary, but a symbol of national resolve and the rule of law. The world is watching to see if law can stand up to power. The Philippines has set a precedent, challenging not just China, but the very idea that might makes right in international affairs. The Philippines has made its move. The next chapter in the South China Sea will be written not just by navies, but by nations willing to defend their rights through law, courage, and unity. The Philippines knows it cannot match China's military might on the open seas, or in terms of sheer numbers and firepower. Decades of underfunding and a focus on internal security have left its armed forces outgunned and outnumbered by its giant neighbor. But in the face of this overwhelming force, the Philippines has chosen a different battlefield, one where ideas, laws, and principles matter more than missiles and warships. Instead of engaging in a costly arms race, it's waging a legal war instead, turning to the power of international law and diplomacy to assert its rights and challenge China's expansive claims. The new Maritime Zones Act is its weapon of choice, meticulously crafted to align domestic law with international conventions like UNCLOS. By doing so, the Philippines frames China as an outlier, a nation refusing to play by the rules that most of the world has agreed upon. Now, every Chinese incursion is not just a local dispute or a test of wills. It's an assault on a recognized legal order, a challenge to the very system that underpins peace and stability in the region. The law mandates the new map in all government documents, schools, and embassies, embedding it in national and global consciousness. This isn't just paperwork. It's a campaign to shape how Filipinos and the world see the country's rightful territory. By taking this legal approach, Manila's position becomes not only reasonable, but also defensible on the world stage. It resonates with neighbors and allies who value stability, predictability, and the rule of law. The Philippines isn't asking for special treatment or favors, just for the rules to be followed, for agreements to be honored, and for international law to be respected by all parties. This strategy gives allies like the US, Japan, and Australia a clear, justifiable reason to support Manila. It's not about taking sides in a quarrel, but about upholding a system that benefits everyone. China's strength is force, the Philippines is law. While one flexes its military muscle, the other builds a case that can win hearts, minds, and international support. In global opinion and business, a clear legal title often outweighs military might. Investors, diplomats, and ordinary citizens alike look for stability and legitimacy, not just displays of power. The Maritime Zones Act proves that sovereignty can be defended in parliaments and law books, not just on the seas. It's a reminder that the pen, wielded wisely, can shape the future as surely as any sword. With this move, Manila has made a decisive, strategic leap, one that could redefine the balance of power in the South China Sea for years to come. The South China Sea is the world's commercial superhighway. Over a third of global shipping passes through these waters. China's bid for control threatens the economic security of nations everywhere. Beyond trade, the sea holds vast energy reserves and is a vital fishing ground for millions. China's actions have a direct human cost, driving Filipino fishermen from their waters. For the Philippines, this is about sovereignty and national pride. The new law is a declaration the Philippines will not be bullied out of what is lawfully its own. The world is watching because this is a test for the international order. Will law or might prevail? The outcome will echo far beyond Asia. China's claim to the South China Sea is symbolized by the 9-dash line, a vague boundary first drawn in 1947. As China's power grew, it began enforcing these claims with Coast Guard ships, maritime militias, and artificial islands. These gray zone tactics change the status quo without open conflict. China's island-building campaign has militarized the sea, projecting power across the region. The Philippine Maritime Zones Act is a direct legal counter, based on precise coordinates in international law, not ambiguous history. By refusing to acknowledge the 9-dash line, the Philippines nullifies it within its own jurisdiction. This is a powerful counter-narrative to Beijing's expansion. The Maritime Zones Act is a masterclass in legal statecraft, defining the Philippines' maritime zones with precision under UNCLOS. It unifies all government agencies under one legal framework, strengthening the national front. The law gives the Coast Guard and Navy clear authority to enforce Philippine rights and penalize violations. Confrontations move from diplomatic gray zones to black and white law enforcement. For foreign investors, the law offers legal certainty and assurance, encouraging economic development. It signals that the Philippines will protect its claims with the full force of domestic law. The act is a legal shield for the nation's future. The 2016 Hague Tribunal ruled decisively for the Philippines, invalidating China's 9-dash line. For years, Manila hesitated to press its advantage, but the new law changes that. The Maritime Zones Act turns the Hague victory into binding domestic law, making it the foundation of national policy. Future leaders can't easily reverse this stance. The law ensures consistency and predictability. It gives diplomats, the military, and investors a solid legal basis for action. The law operationalizes the Hague ruling, making it a practical tool for governance and defense. The Philippines' position is now fixed and unwavering. The legacy of the Hague Award is secured for generations. The South China Sea dispute is a clash of worldviews, law versus lore. The Philippines relies on UNCLOS, a global treaty, for its claims, clear, predictable, and universally recognized. China's claims rest on historical narratives, promoted through state media and textbooks, but lacking legal standing. The Maritime Zones Act counters myth with legal fact, offering precise coordinates over vague stories. This approach strips away the romanticism of China's claims, exposing them as unilateral attempts to rewrite the rules. The international community must choose support clear rules or a single nation's unverifiable history. The Philippines' law makes that choice easier, framing the issue as defending the global legal system. Manila stands firmly for a rules-based world. The 2016 Hague arbitration was a landmark, a small nation using law to challenge a superpower. The tribunal's ruling dismantled China's historic rights claim, but Beijing dismissed it and Manila, for a time, set it aside. Many thought the verdict would fade into irrelevance. Yet, the ruling remains a permanent legal stain on China's policy. Every Chinese incursion can be called out as illegal, thanks to the Hague decision. The new Maritime Zones Act revives and operationalizes the award, making it a living tool of policy. It proves that legal victories, even ignored, can shape the future. Justice in geopolitics can prevail if nations persist. The Maritime Zones Act is more than just a piece of domestic policy. It's a powerful diplomatic tool that reshapes the region's strategic landscape. By enshrining its maritime boundaries into law, the Philippines sends a clear message to both its citizens and the international community. Its claims are not just aspirations but legal realities backed by national consensus and legislative authority. By codifying its rights, Manila gives allies a clear legal basis for support. This legal clarity transforms abstract support into concrete commitments, making it easier for friendly nations to justify their involvement and assistance, both diplomatically and militarily. The United States and other partners now have a tangible map to defend, not just an abstract principle. This shift from ambiguity to certainty strengthens joint planning and operational coordination, allowing for more robust and unified responses to any threats or provocations in the region. This clarity has helped build a coalition of nations committed to a free and open Indo-Pacific. Countries that once hesitated to get involved now find common cause in upholding international law and resisting unilateral changes to the status quo. China's divide-and-conquer strategy is increasingly undermined as the dispute becomes internationalized. The more the world pays attention, the harder it becomes for any single nation to dominate the narrative or isolate the Philippines. The law reframes the issue as defending the global commons and the rule of law, not just a local territorial spat. It invites the world to see the South China Sea as a test case for the integrity of international norms and the rights of smaller nations. The more China ignores or challenges the law, the more it unites its neighbors and draws global attention to the stakes involved. Regional cooperation grows stronger, and the world's eyes remain fixed on every development. The South China Sea has become the testing ground for whether law or force will ultimately shape Asia's future. Every maneuver, every diplomatic statement, is now weighed against the standards set by international law. Manila's line in the water is more than a boundary. It's a call for the world to choose sides, to stand for a rules-based order, or risk the erosion of global norms. The stakes are nothing less than the future of the international order, where the outcome in the South China Sea could set a precedent for how disputes are resolved worldwide.